welcome to this special episode of The Melissa Banks Show. I'm your host, Melissa Banks, and I'm so excited I can't hardly stand it. And thank you for joining us today. This show is all about celebrating the journeys of authors, entrepreneurs, business owners, creatives who are boldly chasing their dreams, creating meaningful products and services, and inspiring others to do the same. Each episode will uncover the stories behind the successes, the lessons learned from the challenges, and the advice that can spark you in your own action. My goal is simple: to remind you that your dreams are possible and to leave you feeling inspired and empowered. Now, let's get started with today's special guest, Cyrus Webb, who has an incredible story, as you all may know. Cyrus is a radio TV personality, an editor-in-chief of Conversations magazine, social media coach, Amazon top influencer, a publicist and my personal publicist, and a best-selling author. Now, I'm sure I left out some of the roles that he has because he does so much. But welcome to the show, Cyrus Webb.
Melissa Banks, thank you so much for having me, and excited about your new show. Congratulations on the Melissa Banks Show.
Thank you so much. I am so excited that you carved out this time to share with us, because I did think it was important for our audience to hear from you directly, and you graciously gave the team the time on our episode together. So let's dive in, Cyrus. Let's talk about 2024. You know, I've said this to you. Congratulations really doesn't seem like a big enough word to say to you about 2024. I am so honored to call you friend and coach and publicist and boss and all those things, because I just looked at your year and it's the energy and the excitement is contagious. You cannot be around you and not feel it. So congratulations on such an amazing year.
Thank you.
So what are some of the proudest accomplishments for you in 2024?
Wow, that is a great question. Hello to you, Wendy. Wendy Arsad is on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. You know, Melissa, I'm going to be honest with you. It is, and I tell people a lot. When I tell people I'm excited, and they ask me, what am I excited about? It's hard for me to tell them exactly what I'm excited about, because everything that's kind of either fortunately or unfortunately runs together. As far as 2024, I think the greatest achievement for me was a change in my mindset. I think it's one thing to have a skill set. It's another thing to believe in that skill set and to use it. 2024 has really been about me pushing myself and believing that I could do the things that I know God gave me to do. And that, to me, is what has made this year what it has been. I mean, the external things have been great, but it really has been up here that has been the game changer for me.
Oh, wow. That is powerful. I mean, right off the bat, how powerful is that? Because, you know, I always say everything starts with the mind. So when you changed your mindset, I mean, it's just been such a powerful year. So as we look at each year, and I know I do, and I know many other people do as well, and I'm sure you do, we look at the year and we try to recognize the lessons that were in the year. So were there some significant lessons that you learned in this past year that shaped your perspective of the year?
I love that question. So I want to say hello to Dr. Tosh. She says, congratulations to you too, Melissa, on the new show. And Wendy said that you did. I love seeing you elevate on all levels. Appreciate that. Wendy, you know, I think one of the biggest, well, there's two lessons. And people may not like either one, but this is my personal truth. The first lesson is being okay with not everyone being able to come along. Because I'm a person who I want everybody to win. But one thing that 2024 has solidified for me is that that's not enough. They have to win as well and do the same work that I'm willing to do. So that's been one of the first lessons, to realize I have to be okay with not everyone's going to be able to come with me. Doesn't make them bad people. Just means they can't be on the ride. The second thing, and I think this is so important for everybody, but I really dug into this in 2024, is not dimming my light. Being able to admit I know what I know that I do what I do. I have what I have. And that in itself can be a motivator for others, but definitely allows me to walk in the authority that I've been given, and not feel like I have to be embarrassed or to kind of shade that for anyone else to feel comfortable. And I think that's important because a lot of times we dumb ourselves down so that other people won't be intimidated, instead of realizing it's our job to be a light. We were told not to put a light under a bushel, right? So I had to get into it's okay for me to shine. And if that blinds you, there's some affordable shades on Amazon. I'm sure you can be able to get. But I cannot dim my light for you to feel comfortable.
You know what? We've talked about this as the year has gone, and I've seen some of the changes in your attitude and your stature. And you just shared with us that it began, first of all, with the mindset for the change, and then acknowledging the change that I can love you, but I do not have to dim my light. I just had another conversation with someone else that we talked about that very same thing. And I think that is a lesson that our entire audience, that's a nugget right there. That is huge right there, what you just shared with us. Let's talk about challenges, Cyrus. Each year brings about some challenges, and challenges for me may be different than you and may be different from the other person, but there always are some challenges in each year. So what was the most difficult challenge you faced in 2024, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, so you're right. Everyone's situation is different. And my challenges, I think, for 2024 ironically mirrored my challenges of 2014. Because in 2014, I had one of the most successful years of my career at that point, but my grandmother was dying and I lost her that year. In 2024, I've now had the most successful year of my 21 years. My brother was hospitalized twice. My mom had some serious health issues. My dad has some health issues. We lost some family members this year. So I said that to say that external forces can sometimes be as difficult as the internal ones. It's been hard for me at times to balance that things are going so well when other people are not in the same place and there's nothing I can do about it. So what I have had to do is to not only to embrace the serenity prayer of realizing the difference in what I can do and what I can't, but also realize that, as my grandmother told me the day before she died, the importance of keep going. My family has always pushed me to be there where I can, but not give up on myself. That's been one of the biggest challenges this year.
Oh, wow. You know, being able to be excited when people you love are going through some things and then you're not okay, that's huge to find a way to overcome that and move forward. I, go ahead.
Earl, I don't know what this is. What Earl says, all real humans. Yes, I'm human. So, yes, I have my own challenges, external
Mhm.
challenges. Hello to you, Tina. Good to be able to see you. I appreciate that. Uh, Todd says frames on Amazon. That's right. They can get some shades. They're on sale
Okay.
right now. It's a good time.
Okay, Cyrus, one of the things I did want to talk to you about is industry trends.
Mm,
2024, there were some changes in industry trends. So,
yeah.
what stood out for you and was most impactful to you?
Yeah. So, this is where I think I do excel, Melissa. I am not married to anything. Some things are more difficult for me to let go of when it comes to my business, and I've had to wrestle some with that. With one of the platforms I've been with now for over a decade coming to an end. But it's one thing that's been very, and I've talked to you about this and talked to others about this. That's why realizing that you don't know everything and that you have to keep learning in order to grow has been so important. Social media has changed. The platforms that we're using right now have changed. And for me, my job has been both as a content creator, but also as a leader, has been to make sure I am keeping up with the changes, staying knowledgeable of the changes, but also making sure my team is able to do the same thing. So that's been the big thing for me because you're right, the world is changing a lot. And I'm also one of these people, Melissa, who does not feel like I can do everything. There are a lot of things I do well, but I'm very mindful of the fact where things are not my strong suit, where things are not a good use of my time, and being able to find people that can do those things and lean on them and trust them to get that done. So that's been important for me as I try to keep up with everything else, to make sure that I am staying knowledgeable and informed, and using what is out there, but also realizing the strengths of other people and letting them shine where they can shine.
And that's huge, right? Because I'm a person that I like things to stay the same. You know what? I don't like changing. I don't like learning new processes. But since I've been in your camp, not only as your a team member, but as a friend,
Mhm.
I've been pushed to make those changes. But changes happen so often.
Yeah.
So it's really great to have someone that keeps up with those things. And that takes a lot from you, I'm sure, to manage those changes and then make sure we all know about those changes. So we really appreciate that. So one of the things, Cyrus, you do is media personality. You got that down pat. I've told you before, I love watching you on interviews because you do so many interviews. Y'all have seen the numbers. He puts them out there. You do so many interviews and you've interviewed people at different levels, but you're always you. You move through those interviews as cool and calm, like they don't excite you or throw you off track. I absolutely love watching you. Was there a particular interview in 2024 that left you with a lasting impression and why?
Oh, now that is, and no one has asked me that question. So let me say this, and I appreciate the compliment, Melissa. So I want to tell people about me in interviews, and what Melissa just said is the greatest compliment I could ever be given, because when I started in 2003, my goal was to make everyone feel seen and appreciated, no matter who they are, what level they are. That has always been my goal. I don't treat celebrities any more than I treat rising stars. Everyone to me is all about their particular story. All their stories matter. But if I had to say an interview that really this year, and I haven't talked about this actually, because it's someone who has been on my show before, and that is Marsha Clark. Now, a lot of people know Marsha Clark as the attorney that was against O.J. Simpson. Well, she's become a friend of mine over the years. I've interviewed her several times on the radio show. She writes fiction and nonfiction. And so when they booked her to come on my show again, I'm always honored that, that someone like her who's so busy, who can be anywhere, right, wants to come on. But it was what she did after that. The interview was really good. Her book is really good. It's called Trial by Ambush, about this woman who was wrongfully executed for a murder she didn't commit, and how she was railroaded. Um, and so it's a horrible story, but it's the way she wrote it. But afterwards, she went on X and she wrote about how when she comes on my show, she knows I'm always going to know the material and give her questions. I didn't once ask her about OJ. OJ died this year. Didn't ask her about OJ. Didn't ask her about this. It was all about what we were there to talk about. And that to me is the reason why that stands out, because she did publicly what I try to do with every interview, and that is to make it about that person. I wasn't interviewing OJ. I was interviewing Marsha Clark, right? And so that to me, that interview stands out. Ironically, in 2023, she was my 500th guest of the year last year. So she wasn't this year, but so it was just great to have her back. But that's one interview that definitely, there's many that I really enjoy, but that one definitely stands out.
Oh, thank you for that. Before we move from 2024, though, Cyrus, is there something that, I mean, so many things happen. I know you had books, you had awards, you were honored in so many different ways. Is there one thing that just stands out to you from 2024 that you want to share with us before we move to 2025?
Melissa, this has been a year. I mean, and here's the thing. I knew in 2023, even before I knew the particulars, I knew already from what I had lined up for this year, it was going to be a big year. The unintended things like the awards and stuff, had no idea about that. just like 2025, the things I have lined up already, I already know what 2025 is going to be like, but there's so many things I don't know. But I will say this year, one of the things that really stood out to me was getting the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That was special, but I want to say give a shout out to Anissa Short because she's the one who introduced me. And Anissa and I had never met each other before. But in her introduction to me, she talked about things that she knew about me before I even knew who she was. And that to me says a lot about what I think about when it comes to legacy. Because I always want, and Dr. Velma said the same thing to me when we met in person this year, that I'm the same person I appear to be online. That to me is the best compliment anyone can give me. And so when Anissa said that, and when she was introducing me, I thought, wow, my grandmother would love to hear that. And just her saying those words, that was like in itself almost as big as the award.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. Cyrus, I've said to you many times, when I met you, I showed up at an event. You didn't know me from the wallpaper. And I showed up to the event, but when I left that event, and I felt like I had known you forever. You were so welcoming and open to me that day. That will forever remain in my spirit. The way I was treated there that day, a total stranger. You had never heard of me. I had only been on your page once the day before when I came to that event, and it will forever stay with me. So thank you for sharing that. So, okay, now let's talk about looking ahead to 2025. Of course, we only have a few hours left in 2024, so we don't have far to look ahead to 2025.
Yeah.
But what do you predict will dominate 2025 in the media? Would it be publishing, social media? What do you think will dominate?
Yeah, it's going to be something, and I talked about this in a recent class. Social media, yes, but another dimension that I've been a privilege to be a part of the past few years that will be even bigger, and that is live social shopping. What we're doing with Amazon Live, I think that we're going to see a whole lot more of that. I think social media is going to really become almost the new network television shows. I think just like we turn into, well, I don't personally, but like some people turn into television for certain things, I think that's what's going to be happening on Facebook and Instagram in particular, because that is the way the attention is going. You think about how there's already so much integration. I talked about it recently with Facebook and Amazon and what they're doing together to make shopping easier between the two. I think that's something we're going to see more of. And that's why I think the knowledge is so important, Melissa, because, and that's why I've been trying to help people to see, hey, you need to get on this so that you're not left behind. Because, the thing that I've learned, what has benefited me, I've been early on a lot of things that people said didn't work. Blog Talk Radio, when I joined that in 2008, people told me that wouldn't last. And here I am now, all these years later. And I think about that. And I think about with Amazon Live when I started 4 years ago. People didn't know what that was. Now all these celebrities and things. Oprah is now on Amazon Live. Martha Stewart. So I think if people watch the way the attention is going, that's going to be the thing. And I really think social media and live shopping is going to be the key to that.
That's why your classes are so powerful and so important for people like me that can't keep up with the changes on their own, because you keep up with the changes and then you share them with me, with all of us. I mean, live social shopping, the first time I even heard that term was in one of your classes. And it's so true because this year myself, I started doing a live show where I'm selling my products there. I never would have thought of doing that on my own. So I really appreciate that. So, goals for the new year, Cyrus Webb. I know you have some big goals. Is there any particular goal that you can share with us today?
That I can share with you today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, so well, one of the biggest things of my 2025, and you all can write this down because I can already tell you. And I can't tell you guys all the details about this, but I will tell you this. My new platform, Mokum, Men of Color in Media. I do believe that that's going to be my legacy. And I can't go into the details of that, other than to tell you, and this is something for you to watch for, a platform that is owned by a billionaire has already shown interest in Mocha. So look for that in the second quarter of 2025. Melissa's going to be upset because she didn't know anything about this, so I'll hear about this later. But I will also say, and aside of that, I'm turning 50 in 2025. So I'm going to be doing a whole lot more in-person events. I'm going to be doing in-person classes. Excuse me. In-person classes, so look forward to that, and also doing more speaking as well. I also have my second business book is coming out in 2025 as well. So I won't really call those goals. They're the things that will happen, Melissa, which I think are kind of better than goals. But if I was going to give a goal, it is to be unapologetic each and every day.
Oh, wow. To be unapologetic each and every day. Y'all write that down because that is a huge nugget. Okay, so now, Cyrus, those of us who works with you often tease you about telling us what to do. You have this reputation of telling people what to do. You do. But we know that in reality, you strongly suggest.
That's right. Now, I do that. I'm aware of that.
You're aware of that.
Yes.
But the real deal, Cyrus, is we want you to tell us what to do because we know you know better than us. You talked about earlier knowing what you don't know. Well, we really do want you to tell us what to do. So I want you to give some advice to individuals who are listening right now. They're planning their next step. What should they be doing to elevate their careers or personal growth as the year changes?
So let me give this advice, and this is based on me, again, about to turn 50, doing what I've been doing now for 21 years. Don't rest your head on something you don't enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. I think what happens, Melissa, is that people jump on things they think will be quick and easy instead of things that will last. There are a lot of people who have come and gone in the media space since I've been on the scene. People who told me I wouldn't be successful at this are no longer even doing it. And I'm still here. Hey, y'all. But I think that is the big thing. I don't do anything I don't want to do. And I don't care who you are. Family, friends, I protect my space that way because I understand in order for me to give 150% every day, I have to look forward to this. And if it's nothing I enjoy, I'm not going to look forward to it. So I would say make sure what you're pursuing is something you actually enjoy. We've all heard that saying, Melissa, do what you would do for free. Mm-hmm. You really have to be willing to do that because sometimes you may have to do that. Mm-hmm. I remember that. I remember when I would feel bad charging $25 to be on my show. Now you can't even get 5 minutes with me. Just saying. But I mean, you have to do something and invest in, because it is an investment of your time, your energy, your resources. Sometimes it's going to cost you. But if it's something that you truly believe in, you're passionate about, don't give up on it because it will work out for you.
Oh, wow. That's huge, guys. Listen to the man. Do what you love, and you're going to give it your best, and you won't give up on it. That is huge, Cyrus. Yeah. Cyrus, one of the things about you that we all know is that you like keeping secrets. You call them surprising people, but you like to keep secrets and don't tell stuff. But another thing we like about you, and everybody who knows you knows this about you, is that you don't hold the success to yourself. Right. You want to create collaborations. You want to share it with other people. And you, from the heart, want to see others win. So are there any secret projects or collaborations that you're working on that you're particularly excited about that you can share with us today?
Yes and no. Yes, I have someone working on. No, that I can share.
See, you're not going to give us a thing, not even a tip.
No.
Oh, wow.
But I appreciate the question, though. If I can just give some shout outs, Dr. Bama says your grandmother was there. Todd says your classes are powerful. Appreciate that. And Todd says I'm an authentic person. Thank you for that, Todd. Dr. Bama says exciting. Earl says detail, please. I think I just answered that with a no. And Todd says be unapologetic each and every day. And Dr. Bama says strongly suggest is a great way to say it. Thank you for that, Doctor. Dr. Bama gets me. She gets me. And Dr. Bama says, Cyrus has been my biggest cheerleader. I'm great. Oh, now see, that's what I'm talking about. That's legacy right there. That's legacy. I've been her greatest cheerleader. And that is my goal with everyone. But it goes to what I said earlier about what I've learned this year, Melissa, that I can't want it more than other people want it for themselves. And I've now had to learn to be okay with that. But when people like Dr. Bama, like you and Taz and Earl and Wendy, when they get the information and go with it, man, that is the biggest reward.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the things we love so much about you is that you take.
Hello. I'm sorry. Tredonia is on IG. Hello to you. Jacqueline Jones from Brandon. She's on IG as well. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, we're excited to be in your company. We're excited that you have so much knowledge and willing to share it. So many people have the knowledge that you have, and they hold it tight to their chest, being afraid. You are not afraid, and you're not afraid to be strong with us because you have to take the good with the bad. You're an awesome, nice guy, but you can also be really tough. And I'll send a little note that says meaty, and you don't really care. But we appreciate you. Before we wrap up, though, what message of encouragement or inspiration can you share with our audience today?
Believe in yourself and believe in what you've been given, and don't let anyone tell you what is not for you. If I had listened to people who were very open in telling me I wouldn't make it, were very open in judging me in what I was doing, and I should add, people who look like me, by the way, were not encouraging to me, who tried to make me feel less than them because I didn't have an education according to their standards, or I didn't have certain friends in the industry. If I had listened to them, I wouldn't be where I am today. You have to listen to that God-given thing that you've been given, and don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot do. Let's not forget, Jesus' own brothers and sisters didn't even believe in him until he died. I think a lot of times we want people to give us that pat on the back, and that feels great to be able to get that, but you won't always get that, and you have to be okay with going forward anyway, and not waiting on that. Those that will be for you will be there. It may take some of them longer, but don't give up on yourself just because other people don't see the gift in you.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you for the time today. I know you're super busy. Just thank you for always giving, going 150%. We really appreciate you sharing the insights and the knowledge that you shared with us today. And I want to thank our audience for joining us for this special episode of The Melissa Banks Show.